Welcome to Quarantini and Mimosas. So thank you for being a guest on my show today. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you too, man. You're so
Yes.
swagged out and stylish. I appreciate all that.
And we color coordinated. You see it? You see it?
This is salmon. I think it's salmon. Salmon mauve. I
It's
don't know what it's
more.
called.
It's definitely
Yeah,
more.
it's mauve.
I'll
It's
take
definitely mauve.
I'll
Okay,
take the
cool. All right.
salmon with an L.
Actually, my tuxedo when I got married was this color. It was pretty fresh. I was trying
Nice.
something different.
Very, very nice. Okay, so I have an amazing story for you that it's gonna literally blow your mind. But before I get into the story, I do want to welcome you to my show officially, and I want to formally introduce myself to you. So I'm Shannon Mack. I have a show on YouTube called Pedis Mimosas, and it's a
Hmm.
celebrity interview while we drink mimosas, have pedicures. It's my own platform that I built while I was a disgruntled Uber Lyft driver.
Right.
Okay,
Hmm.
and that's where the incredible story comes along.
And you got all the personality,
Oh, thank you.
all of it, like all of it. I love it.
So when I was a disgruntled Uber driver, Uber slash Lyft driver,
Hmm.
your wife, is she there?
She just stepped out. She went to work.
Can I tell you how amazing your wife is?
Oh, she's incredible. What happened? What we do? You gave her a
She,
lift, a ride?
this was when you guys were just boyfriend and girlfriend. You hadn't got married yet.
I think I remember this story, but go ahead.
Really?
I think I do, but go ahead. If it's the same one, I'll let you
She,
know.
when I tell you, I was having the worst day. And when I picked up your wife, I'm so glad she is your wife now. She was just so incredible. I remember her donating to, I forget what I had going on at the time. She donated to that and she just gave me such great words of encouragement. And she was like, yeah, my boyfriend, he's a comedian. He opens up at the, I was like, the Laugh Factory? Like, I just saw him. Me and my mom went and we saw you. And my mom loved you.
Hey,
And I was
mom.
like, this guy is hilarious. And we just had this great conversation. She was so, I will never forget her. She was so encouraging. And it was such a great moment for me. So I think, I forget
I wish
how
she could hear this right now.
I, oh my God. I forget how we even came across, like me and my sister and my team came across, like trying to book you. I don't even remember. But I was
It's
like,
so cool.
oh, because there's so many people
I'm
you have.
being real ghetto right now. I'm taking a picture of you, so
I hope she remembers because it was so incredible. She was
she'll
like,
probably
stay
remember.
encouraged. I support you. I even think we exchanged numbers. Like we had a sister to sister moment and it was great. And I will never forget her as one of those people that I feel like God literally sent along the way to remind me of moments to come like this. That it will be all right. Like just follow through, like it'll be okay. So I was like, oh my God, y'all booked Ron G. I cannot wait to tell him this incredible story. Hair all swinging. This incredible story about his wife.
When I tell you that sounds like my wife, like she's a big ball of light and positive energy, even on her worst days. Like it's ridiculous how she built. Like some women just built different. Like she worst days, life falling apart. I won't even know, and I live with her. And I'm like, you okay? Like, why
I'm
do
glad
you
you married her. I'm
why
so
do you
glad you did.
eliminate with aggression right now? But she have a smile on her face. I'm like, you all aggressive with the ice? What you doing? Uh, but yeah, that's her, man. Salute to you. So it's crazy to like listen because I know how she is because her and I are kind of cut from the same cloth. But for her
Yeah.
to encourage you, and now it's like a 360 moment to like
Yes.
to you interview me, man. This is awesome. This is awesome.
Insane. I was like, I cannot wait to tell this story
You feel
because,
like you were
yeah,
on the edge at the time, like whatever happened, like you were on the edge, kind of
I
thing,
was
and she just
always, I was
yeah,
always about to jump off the cliff. I was
yeah.
always on the edge. Let me tell you, like, and I'm serious. Like, I really feel like God sent people, angels, to literally talk me off the ledge.
Yeah.
And she was one of those people that day, for
And
sure.
you were born and raised in New York?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I
But
was in
see, oh,
LA. I was in
yeah.
LA
But LA is an adjustment for a New York person because y'all are on 10. Like when I go to
all
New
the
York,
time.
I feel like from the time you leave your house, you get back, there's no peace. Like it's just chaos, people screaming, fighting, people
Yeah.
peeing in the street, like just chaos. And then you come home, if your house ain't peaceful, like where do you go? And then if you live in chaos, you got an edge to you all the time, and y'all don't have grass. At least in the South, We can go outside, put our feet in some grass, or go to the park. Y'all gotta walk to like 9 miles to a park because you like, oh, we got grass. It's at a park. Everybody say that because y'all ain't got no backyard. Y'all backyard be like a grill and like a little
Actually,
patch of grass.
actually, to the defense of the Bronx, and that's where I'm from, I actually do have a backyard, but there ain't no grass back there. So you have
See,
right.
that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you got to put your feet in the grass in order to like ground it, like literally like connect with nature and put your feet in the grass. But if y'all can't do that, you know what I'm saying? Even like walking to go get your paper or whatever with your shoes off, like you can't do that.
Absolutely,
That's
you're
why y'all just
right.
be angry. Y'all just be angry. People that grow up without like without grass and sweet tea, y'all just be angry.
Without grass and sweet tea.
I'm for real. I'm from the South. We grew up with grass and sweet tea. It'll slow you down.
Listen.
You might get your foot cut off when you're 50, but at the same time, you're gonna live a peaceful life.
That is too funny, but you're right. Like New York City is a chaotic state. It is. And it's like I have a love-hate relationship with home. I moved to LA to pursue,
Yeah,
entertainment and stuff like that. And it literally, I was there for 13 years. I'm back in New York now only because of COVID, but
yeah.
it literally took me 5 years, year five. I was like, all right, I like LA. Like, not love yet. I hated it.
But you got to have somebody explain LA to you. Kind of like when you go to New York, you got to explain it. Like
Yeah,
I didn't know. I'm like, how do you date in New York if nobody talked to you outside? Like
you,
millions of people outside, but nobody speak to each other. But then when you go inside, it's okay to speak to people. But then I feel like it's creepy because you're inside talking to somebody that you don't know. Like it's weird. But
it
LA,
is.
you have to have the LA speech. The LA speech is when you come here, humble yourself. You gonna sleep on somebody's couch or you gonna have a floor story. Everybody here that's been successful, you gonna sleep on somebody's couch or somebody's floor.
Or in your car.
Or in your car. That's worst case. But I used to go to work. I wore a suit to work, but I had lint balls in my head from sleeping on the floor because I didn't have a bed because I slept on the floor until I figured my life out. Then you go through your depression. LA mandatory depression because I feel like God makes you unplug from the life you're used to in order to function out here. Because if you keep comparing LA to home, you're gonna stay sick because LA is not home. Simple stuff like finding friends, finding a church home, finding
Yeah,
a mechanic, finding a beautician. Like where I'm from, you see some nice people. You're like, hey man, what church y'all go to? It was like, I'm glad you asked. You go to their church, you get to visit the snacks. You like, this is my church home. LA, you take the tour, you go to all the big major churches,
yeah, the
and you
mega
like,
churches. Yeah.
and then you got to go to the particular. I'm not even gonna say it, but you got to go to this. I can't even say that part. The individual church that everybody go to is like the mandate. You probably know what I'm talking about. It's the
I know
young adult church.
exactly
It's the
the
young
church in
adult.
particular. The church.
They having dance breaks and it's just a lot
Yes.
it's a lot going on. Tag your man. Come on, Jesus. Tag and they high five and like just it's a lot. And so you have to do that. And then you got to find your tribe, which is the hardest part. Because where I'm from, if somebody don't like you, it's okay. You ain't cool with their friends, they ain't cool with your like it's not a problem. In LA, people hate you and invite you to baby showers, they invite you to their church functions, they invite you to plays. I'm like, if you hate me, let's act like it. You know what I'm saying? But you only find out somebody hates you through messy women and weak dudes. Because a messy woman gonna be like, well, you know that dude don't like you. I'm like, why is he pillow talking about me when I shook his
You are
hand like I know him. You know what I'm saying?
hitting this on the
I'm
nail.
giving
Like,
you the speech. And the weak dudes, they try to get at a woman, so they would like say something. Some dude said to my wife, she was my fiance at the time, hey, my homegirl like your husband. She was like, I'm gonna smash him no matter what. I don't care if he got somebody or not. He said this to my wife. I'm like, why would you say that to my wife? If you try to shoot your shot, shoot your shot. Don't bring up that's his homegirl trying to smash me. Why would we
I
do that? Or
cannot.
or the other side, because you as a woman, you got to deal with different niggas. Because the local people, it's no middle. Like local, they either good people or they like
Hood.
ridiculously hard, like hood.
Yeah.
Like this, their level of hood. Like I'm Southern. We do neighborhoods. They do streets and colors. It's beyond my pay grade, right? So with women, I had this woman say to my wife, I said, hey, she's a comedian. I said, hey, this is my wife. She was like, oh, this your wife? That's crazy. Because you used to flirt with me all the time. And I knew that once you stopped flirting with me, you probably found somebody. I didn't know that this was her. She said, yeah, because he used to flirt with me all the time. It was crazy. And then when I knew something changed when he probably met you. So this is
Oh
her
my
learning my wife.
God.
And if
You're
you see her,
lying.
when I tell you this Woody from Toy Story face looking girl, she had a long face, this long face ranger face. When I tell you her face is like a mountain bike seat, and my wife know my candy. When I tell you she wasn't even like in the ballpark of what my candy was, and I'm like, what kind of ego you got to tell my wife that? to tell. Granted, I know my flow. Like I don't have like where I am in the city I live in. I'm one person away from everybody in LA. Just how you say you know me. I'm one because I'm so many people in LA have had that same. I'm one person away from
Facts.
everybody in the city, so I can't be flirty. My southern
Right.
charm to women, I don't small talk to a woman who doesn't feel heard. Oh my God, he's my husband. He's nice. He's sweet. He gave me life advice. That same energy my wife gave, I do that too because I'm like,
Yeah.
I care about people. I care about people finding their purpose. I care about people finding their thing while they're here. That's my passion. Relationship stuff, that's my jam. We going, I don't small talk. But for this woman to tell my wife that, I'm like,
That
yo,
is unbelievable.
but
The
this is my wife.
gall.
The unmitigated gall to tell my wife, I tried to holler at you, and that's why she stopped because of her. You made my song about you, nigga,
Like,
nigga. But
child, you
that's a
don't
part
go on.
of the speech. And then the last phase is getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. When you get to a place where you don't care what nobody think about you, like legit, like on stage, when you see me perform, I legit don't care what people think about me. I used to be like, I hope they think I'm funny. Now it's like, I have a good time. If I have a good time and you don't, you got sewage in your soul. That's you need to sort that out with Jesus. Like that ain't got
Right.
nothing to do with me because I'm gonna have a good time in my acting, because if you're trying to be in this business, when you stop caring and have fun and bring
Right.
something to them that they haven't seen, because most of the time they don't know what they want. They just
Right.
when they see it. You
Mm-hmm.
are that thing. Black people, we the way, we the sauce, especially when you from the hood too, and all this little stuff that we do in the hood that's like it winds up going viral on TikTok, but then they take the money and we don't have ownership. But what I'm saying is that same thing that makes you unique in the world, it makes you feel awkward around all of them, but you're the one of one in the office. That in the audition room makes you special. So use that thing. You know what I'm saying? And I learned like you're not about to outcharm me in an audition. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing I had to learn. I said the last phase is getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. And another one, learning how to trust your gut. That's the next phase of
Mm.
LA. Trusting your gut. Like legit. When I was younger, I would feel awkward vibes from people. Like you ever see people, you see them all the time, but you never hung out with them or you never spoke. But when you finally speak to them, you realize why you never spoke. Your
Right.
spirit was
Right.
telling you something, but you didn't know what it was. And
Uh-huh.
then when you
Uh-huh.
finally had, you like, oh, nigga, your energy is trash. You weird. Like I should have not spoke to you and trusted it. Younger me, I would investigate that because I got to
Right.
find out why. Women, y'all do that too with guys. You like,
Uh-huh.
I mean, he probably a player, but I'ma just. And then when you find out
Let me
he's
see how
everything that
red the flag can get.
right, the shade of red you got wasn't good enough. God didn't give you 19 flags, and then you go to the crazy girl face because now you got to hear him say he's doing whatever. I need to hear him say he ain't seeing me. I need to hear him say he was somebody else. I'm like, that's the dumbest thing ever. When you get all, you tell him what you want, he don't respond, and you get everything, every sign you need that he's not there while we investigating. Younger me would investigate the crazy, but now it's like it
For
don't
sure.
feel good. It don't work out. Every time they see me, they trying to do coffee. Only when they see me, let's not hang
Mm-hmm.
out.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not hang
Mm-hmm.
out. If you only think about calling me when you see me, let's not hang out. And I'm
Right.
cool with that. Took a long time to get to that place because I dealt with a lot of abandonment in LA because I just you make friends and then people disappear. And you're like, wait, like I don't get a phone call? I don't get a
Yo, these were my struggles.
it's
These
LA.
were my exact struggles.
People break up with you and don't tell you. You be in a whole
Yo.
relationship, hanging out. I'm meeting mama and everything, and then they just disappear. And I follow up. I'm like, hey, you good? And they're like, why are you so thirsty? Thirsty? Like I met your daddy. Why am I thirsty? Like, I didn't ask to meet your daddy. I wasn't even in the place to meet your daddy, but I did. Now I'm thirsty.
Yo, I used to say the same thing. It is so easy to make a million friends in LA, but it's difficult to keep them. They are here today and literally fall off the face of the earth tomorrow. Yo, what you are saying is crazy. That was my life. That was my life. My mom
I
says,
gotta make sure I post this on Instagram because like this is I'm regurgitating all my pain. This stuff I'm telling you, I've been through all this. But go ahead.
oh, for sure. I was telling my mom was telling me yesterday. Well, I told my mom I'm going back to LA just to, spend some time or whatever in April. And she was like, so who you gonna stay with? Because you ain't really got no friends out there. I was like, damn, mom, you're right. She's like, you gonna stay in a hotel again? And I'm like, I guess so. It's true. 13 years. How do you invest 13 years in a city and can't really, there's one or maybe two people? That's insane to me. That is
If you
insane.
find one, you did a great job. Which is
Yeah.
why also I see why successful men get married. I didn't get it
Mm.
before because when you're young, you don't care about comfort. You don't care about consistency. You just trying to have a good time. When you get older, I'm like, you outgrow a lot of things in your life. Outgrow everything. And I was like, yo, I need somebody to share this travel and these stories with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you get grown. You like, yo, And I'm tired of, I don't want to give my friends the option of, I don't know if I want to be his friend no more. Like, if you're not my friend, like, I know I'm a great friend, but if you don't, if you choose not to, and I'm like, I'm always under test when I hang out with you, man, you have all that.
Right,
I
right,
don't lost so many friends with just, I call and follow up and they don't return my text. And I'm like, oh,
right,
okay.
right. Do you think the experience, the LA experience, let's just say you picked up and moved to LA to just pick up and move to a different city, not
Don't
because you
do it.
wanted to pursue entertainment, not because you wanted to pursue entertainment, just to go. Do you think your experience would have been different? You think you would have maybe made some more genuine friends, or do you think that that's the industry circuit, or what?
My dream and the hope behind it and my legacy is attached to my learning how to pivot while I'm out here.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the thing that's the through line. People are like, how do you still, because like the amount of no's I hear in this business,
Absolutely.
the average person can't even fathom.
Right.
Being a black man, being a comedian, and being an actor, the amount of no's, the amount of money I paid to go in an audition, to coach for an audition, and they don't even tell me this is why we
The
didn't
reason
like you.
why.
They don't even tell you, and you just got to live with that. That's why I said when you stop caring, that's when you get great. Being a comedian, if you're not a big name comedian, trying to get stage time out here is the most humbling thing ever. Because even if you have a big movie, that once it's not airing anymore, nobody talking about you. There's
Right.
somebody new. Or if you
Yeah.
travel a lot, but you're funny, you have to introduce yourself every time you come back to LA. Or
Yep.
just being a black man in the city, and you being a black woman in LA, it's hard to feel seen because in your neighborhood in the Bronx, like I know it's getting gentrified, you see a lot of you. So dudes want what they see. But when they move away from home in their little small town and they start seeing a bunch of exotic stuff they ain't never seen before, they're like, ooh, I want that. But then when it comes down to these protests, who you gonna protest with if she don't understand your struggle? Who?
Okay.
What that car ride gonna be like after y'all done protested and you
Okay.
talking about my life matters and y'all ain't got nothing in common? And you sitting here feeling the racism and they're like, they don't feel it because they don't associate with that. And even some minorities don't feel that pain. They don't feel the weight of that. They don't feel the weight of being black in America because literally everybody look down on us, but they love our sauce. They want the
Yep.
rhythm, but they don't want the blues.
Everybody want to be black till it's time to be black.
Man, everybody want the rhythm, but they don't want the blues. They love our black. I mean, I've been all over the country. They love our music, my southern twang, like oh, they love all that. My
Yep.
edge and comedy, and like they like all that, but they don't want what come along with that. They rather have
Yep.
another version of that that's the same shape but a different shade
Yeah.
without the cultural awareness. They rather have that
Yeah.
than you. You don't want the woman to look like your mama.
I, yo,
Your mama wears a scarf, and you
I
tripping about a
wish I
scarf.
had a horn right now.
Your mama got some rough edges, and you don't want your mama edges. You grew up with that. You seen your mama with the little scarf on with the knot in the front like Tupac. You saw that. That's your mama. You know your mama had an
Right.
attitude too. To my black woman attitude, no. Your mama had an attitude. She had a whole attitude. Couldn't even talk to her because she stayed at a 10. She
The
talked
refreshing
my mama
energy from you right now. Yes.
My mama is the loudest creature on the planet. Love her like a biscuit. I don't know if her hearing bad, but her and my dad, all they do is yell. That's how they talk. F you too then. Whatever, you greasy grandmammy, whatever. Bye, nigga, bye. I be like, Dad, what my mama say? Oh, she going to the store. She be right back. That's how they talk. I don't like being yelled at. Told my wife, hey, look, I love you. Don't holler at me. Don't do that. I got yelled at my entire life. I'm not paying the mortgage and you yelling at me too. We're not doing that. Your mama, to my, go ahead. Sorry, don't listen to me.
No, no, no. Go
I'm
ahead. Go
running my
ahead.
mouth.
I'm loving it.
I'm running my mouth.
I was just gonna ask, how long have you and your wife been married?
It'll be 2 years in April.
Yeah, because if my memory serves me correctly, I think maybe yeah, it's probably been like maybe we in 2021. Yeah, probably. I had to really think about that. It's probably like 2017, 18 when I met her.
Yeah.
Yeah, around there, for sure, for
Yeah, and
sure.
I'm sure she told me your story. Like, I'm sure there's other details that you might not want to share for your audience that make specifically. Oh, that's who. Because my wife, she usually tell me about her day. But
It
yeah,
was a hard day, man. And I just remember her being so nice. I remember her donation. I remember us exchanging. Yeah, I definitely think we exchange numbers. And she just always will forever be somebody that I will forever hold dear to my heart, even though I don't know her personally like that, like that. But
yeah.
it was a moment that I needed to be lifted up. And yeah, I see why you two are together.
So
Definitely a great
this is the
match.
testimony part. This is the testimony that the people need to hear. So I don't know you, but I can always. I'm very sensitive, and I can feel like unforgiveness on people. Like when people have a lot of hurt and pain and unforgiveness, you don't
Mm.
have that. You did the work. What did you do to go from that moment to where you're at right now? Because the people need to hear it. Go ahead, share it. Yes, it's your interview, but we're talking about it. Let's go.
It's cool. It's cool. I like that question. Actually, a lot of like time alone, like really disconnecting and really spending time by myself and figuring out, because I really was, it's so crazy you say that. I really was mad. I was mad at my dad. I was
Mm-hmm.
mad at ex-boyfriends,
Mm-hmm.
plural. I was mad at even stuff with my mom. Like I really was mad, just mad, mad. And I cut everybody off, disconnected from social media, and just sat in my own shit. Said a prayer to God. I was like, look, God, I know that you're real based on what my grandma and my mama tell me, but I want you to flex and show me that you're real. And I want to say that I believe in you because I experienced you. So when I said that prayer, put it out there, oh my God, the crazy stuff that started happening to me, and all the questions that I had through prayer, like, am I making the right decisions? I felt like my career wasn't moving in LA. Did I do the right thing with moving? Did I do the right thing with this person? Did I do the right thing? Like all those questions were answered. Everything through all the surreal stuff that started happening. People that I picked up driving Uber and Lyft, like I just had to get really, you gotta, you gotta be willing to go to the ugly places alone. Alone. Nobody's gonna help you realize anything. Not your mama, not your daddy, not nobody. You and God. You gotta just go through the shit alone. And things
Mm.
usually happen when you have that moment of like solitude. Like you just gotta be. It has to just. You just gotta be by yourself.
So, uh, I'm giving you this prophetically. One, that should be the standard for your life. Where you're going right now, you don't have the option of never addressing that again. Like once you've experienced that and you've grown, you had your growth spurt. This is this your wheelhouse. This is your thing because you're gonna meet a lot of dope people, and you needed that experience to be able to have the conversations you need to have. Because if you didn't, you'll be talking about all angry past stuff versus ideas and future stuff.
Yeah.
Um, Also, not sure if you're dating or if you got a boo, but if you do, these kind of conversations y'all need to have daily. Personal growth stuff. If he's not having personal growth stuff and like had his aha moment where he's like, oh, this is what it's like being an adult. You have to face yourself and your trauma and all that stuff. He ain't the one. This is
Mm,
the stuff you
mm.
heard. If he can't, because listen, this is the thing. Because I've seen it happen so many times, and I have friends now who are going through divorce because they married somebody at a young age, and then they outgrew that person. And the
Mm.
person who usually grows has all these life experiences that you can't share with somebody you care about because they're emotionally illiterate or they say the phrase, "This is just who I am." If you ever hear "This is just who I am," run because that's not partnership and that's not growth. That's literally you'll be in a place of managing their fears while you experience in life. You go travel, you reading books, you doing personal self-care stuff and eating better. You're doing pescatarian and keto diet, and they're like, I'm eating this, like whatever. Even if they're not open to do that, your life is going to be prison because you can't share that with them. Always be mindful of that. Personal growth for me was very important. That's why when I met my wife, I'm like, oh, you like working on yourself? You doing the personal
you
really?
you like being better, right?
Because I'm super sensitive, and the stuff I'm sharing with you, I had to unpack it in order to talk about it. Like,
Mm.
younger me was like, oh, I'm tough. I'm like, ain't about being tough. Being tough,
Yeah.
I feel like people literally get cancer from unforgiveness. Like most people I know that died in my family that died, like they had so much trauma from childhood, they never gave it up, and it morphed into some part of their body. I went to this therapist one time, and she ran this put a machine to me and hooked me up. And I know it sounds really weird, but she was like, she ran this test, and she was like, "You got a lot of mucus in your throat." And I was like, "What do you mean?" She was like, "I feel like you have a problem speaking your mind." I said, "What do you mean?" She was like, "Because there's so much mucus caught here, it shows me that you hold on to a lot of tension, but it's literally in your throat, which is why you don't breathe right. And it's also why you don't share your truth. Who is that person that you don't share your truth?" And had me talking. I'm like, oh, I'm good. I'm good. And then she asked me one person and like tears. I'm like, oh. And then that was the unpacking the stuff. Now, I know that's
Mm.
super deep. The lady she told me
Did
all
she
about, I'm
give you?
like,
You have to clear your throat chakra. That stuff. Did
uh,
she tell you that you had to
no,
do that?
it was just a machine, and it kind of told you like where your tense areas are. I don't
Yeah.
even know why it came up, but yeah, I feel like I was supposed to tell you that.
Yeah.
But she said you use your voice enough when you're supposed to. Like, yes, you use it for a
Yeah.
living, but you don't use your voice when you're supposed to. And I think too, literally because of my childhood, I had to shut up a lot. I didn't have the chance to feel until I got out my parents' house because it was the do what I tell you to do and not whatever
Yep.
mentality,
Yep.
and I was a sensitive little kid, and
Yeah.
so dad be sipping a little bit, and I would tell my dad I don't like it. And he's like, I'm your daddy. You don't. And then he would leave. Next day he good, and I'm holding on to all that, thinking he
Mm-hmm.
don't like it as a kid. You know what I'm saying? And I realized like I adopted that thing because even when trauma, and I was a fixer. Because in my household, I'm like, if I don't fix it, it'll fall apart. I know I'm a baby, but let me fix it.
Yeah.
Hey, mom, you okay? Hey, dad, you okay? Hey, sis, like I had to fix her, and that was my dating habits. My habit was being a fixer, which was I was dating out of my lack in trauma, and I didn't know that. And then with the last girl I dated, I realized I need to get rid of my tool belt.
Oh my God, rewind. You just said you were dating out of your lack and trauma.
Yeah,
That is deep.
I like fixing. Like I always like that's my passion. It's part of my purpose. But you can't fix nobody you're doing life with. Like if I can fix and leave, I am perfect. Family, it's like being an auntie or uncle or a
Yeah.
godparent. You pick them up, you love on them, and you send them back. But if you got to live with that person, that kind of headache, because you're always going to see their potential and they don't see it. So it's going to be that constant battle of I see greatness in you. That's how I am with everybody. I like my wife. She probably saw something was like, yo, today is a bad day. It's gonna suck. But tomorrow, I got the same thing. I see so much stuff in people, kids, adults, especially like that's why I said that unforgiveness thing. And I'm
Yeah.
watching people walk around not get blessed because they holding on to pain from people who ain't even here no more. And I'm like, you got to forgive for yourself. I know I'm real prophetic right now, but this one,
Nah, I
you
love
got to
it.
give, you got to forgive these people for yourself so you can get your blessing and open up your heart. You can't receive with a closed hand. This is what your love look like. People are like, I want love, and I'm like, you don't even forgive nobody. I said, if you don't have amnesia, you shouldn't even get married. Amnesia is the best cure ever for getting married because something's gonna happen every day.
Mm-hmm.
Some misdemeanor, some felony. But when you're with somebody, they I always ask people. I said, if you knew your secrets, would you marry you?
Mm.
But you met somebody 6 months ago and you want them to know what's in your head. When you gonna tell them so they stop making them take a test they didn't ask to take? You have to tell these people how to treat you, tell them what you want, and once you say what you want, and if they don't respond, that's your answer. Stop trying to, man, I've been told him so many times he should blah blah blah. Like, no, you're not a victim, you're a volunteer. You're 6 years in complaining about stuff that you told him to do and he has not responded, and you marry this person and you mad. That's not his fault. If matter of fact, I'm going with it. So listen,
Go with it.
if you call a dude a F boy, let's just say you call him an F boy. He an
Mm-hmm.
F boy. He don't. So when you met him, he was eating McDonald's every day. Value. He had no car. He lived with his mama, and he didn't call you back. And you get pregnant by him. Who's the F boy? And you borrow his car because he has no car. Why are you calling him an F boy? Because if you have a master's degree and you get hustled by a dude with a GED, who's the fool? Who
Listen,
is the fool? So what I'm saying is you teach people how to treat you. If you
sure
say,
do.
this is what I need to be loved. Hey, look, I got the WAP on me. I want to give it to you. Love you like a biscuit, but I know how I am and I ain't got no middle. I'm either all in or I can't, I'm going to clock out.
Right.
This is what I need to feel love. And he like, look, I ain't looking for nothing. That's your answer. There's no more conversation. Your only
Right.
purpose of dating is to find out if you're the one. And once you find out you're the
Exactly.
one, pull up not pull up the handbrake, but just, you can put down the handbrake, get out the car and leave. After that, it's on you. Now, going back to my other point about what I said about you unpacking all that stuff, the growth, grown woman stuff that you need to find a man who can handle all that. The other part is this: the hard part about marriage that nobody tell you. When people say
Mm-hmm.
marriages work, particularly for me, because God makes me work on myself all the time.
Right.
I don't have the luxury of going to a cubicle and shutting down because I'm always working on myself. Like I know I
Right.
have a huge platform which is attached to my personal growth and my obedience to God. And the work that God make me do while I'm married, while somebody watching me, and I gotta show up even when I don't feel like it because I'm already like in my feelings about the stuff He checking me on, and then she reminds me of those things that God checking me on while it's happening real time. It makes me feel vulnerable and naked, and I hate it.
Mm. Of course.
So the phase you say you went to where you like I had to unpack, spend time with myself. Imagine spending time with yourself, but you married to somebody, and you still got to show up. You still got to do life. You
Mm.
still got to plan dates. You still got to have sex. You got to do all that while you feeling like trash. And this is on
Ain't
your
that
own
something?
personal thing between you and God. And then they show up and be like, "Well, you got to do this." I'm like, I announce what I'm dealing with. I
Yeah.
don't have to
Yeah.
remind me. I already said I'm working on this thing. Please don't remind me why God is. That's the hardest part of marriage for me. But don't nobody tell you that. They just be like, marriage
Mm.
work. And I'm like, yeah. For me,
Mm.
just growing, because growing is ugly. When you have those moments that change your life, is ugly. I'm talking about the wall slide, like good, 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 and you slide down the wall. Good, good. The moments they already ugly, but imagine somebody watching you slide down the wall.
So do you have a therapist outside of your marriage that you somebody that you can bounce off of, you know how you're feeling, what you're
I
going through?
do, I
Okay.
do. Yeah, I had a few. I had a few therapists. One was, um,
Do you think that
actually,
that's necessary for all
absolutely.
like couples to have their own okay.
So a few things. Couples therapy is definitely necessary because you need a neutral party. Because again, love is interesting. Love is like telling somebody you care about you should not do this, and they don't hear it until somebody else they don't know tell them you should do this. And they're like, "How did they, you know what somebody told me today? They said blah blah blah." You like, I've been telling you this whole time. You know what I'm saying? Love is interesting, but also you got to have your own therapy because every I don't know. We have just generational trauma as black people. You know, we're taught to be
For
tough and be
sure.
strong, which is so toxic because sometimes you ain't strong. Sometimes you ain't got it. As a black man, you know, y'all wants to show up with money and answers, and sometimes we don't have the answers. We got to figure it
Right.
out. We don't know how to love you all the time, so it's just a
Mm,
process, and that's the
yeah.
hard part about dating and marriage. You gotta find your flow. You got your own flow, your own little routine. You get your coffee in the morning, you walk your dog, you do all this stuff, and then you meet somebody who got their own routine that conflicts with yours, and it's not a bad thing. You got to talk through all that stuff. You got to talk
Yeah.
to your absolutes. Like I told my wife, look, you can't yell at me. I love you, and I know I probably made a mistake or whatever. Don't yell at me. If you talk, listen. God could be giving you a message directly to tell me I'm gonna miss it if your tone wrong. I'm gonna miss all of it. So if your tone is right, I will take my time. I will do my due diligence, and I'll change because I'm never above
I
correction when it comes
listen,
to
I
my
had to
heart.
tell my mama that. I was like, don't raise your voice. I said, change your argument. If you want me to hear you, don't yell at me. Change your argument. Do that. Because I can't.
Oh, then
We're not doing that.
that requires accountability, and they don't want to do that.
Oh
Especially
Lord.
especially loved ones. That curse word, accountability.
Accountability. Listen, Jesus Christmas. I cannot. So how's your career moving out there in LA during this
Career's
pandemic?
dope. I've been actually really this pilot season, so I've been getting a lot of auditions. I'm super
Nice.
blessed for that. A lot of my money's been made by doing Zoom comedy shows, so that's the thing.
Zoom comedy shows, really?
Doing what we doing now. Every Sunday we do Chocolate Sundays,
Okay.
virtually. You and Mama got to check it out. It's super awesome. We have about 100 people every
Yeah.
week. But also I get a lot of corporate gigs because corporations want to do stuff for their employees, and I get a check. I do colleges,
Wow.
corporations, and organizations. I did one for the AKAs. I did one for Facebook. I got a church. Sorry, I got a class reunion coming up. Like I make good money doing that. Auditions, I still be getting checks too because of stuff I've done. But
Yeah.
yeah, man, it's been super dope. But I do feel like there's more. Like I feel like I graduated. You know, that moment in your life you feel like you did the work and you graduated, but you just gotta
Yeah.
wait on.
Yeah. Yeah.
That waiting. That waiting is the part I'm working on right now. I'm working on just the waiting and being grateful and showing gratitude while you're in it, but it don't feel good. I'm like, yo,
Yeah.
God, what's next?
Yeah. For sure, for sure. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. I didn't even know that, you could even do comedy show. Well, I guess, the whole Zoom thing you can, but it just didn't even cross my mind. It didn't even, is LA even open
No,
yet? It's still not. So
no.
yeah, I'm gonna stay right here in New York
They
because
just opened back up outdoor dining. But the whole purpose of I feel like this quarantine, until we get it right, I feel like we're gonna stay in this little awkward little phase where it's like
mm-hmm.
open but not really. Red states don't care. If you live in a red state, like it's wide open. Like they don't care. The COVID is a rumor. Um, but for cities that actually respect science and like whatever, I feel like this is a legit time God be like, He makes you deal with yourself. Like whatever you've been
Word,
running from or whatever you chose while the world was open, this is you getting the receipt for what you paid for.
word.
You know what I'm saying? Like you date for money and now your person own a business or a restaurant that's closed down and they ain't even at full capacity and the money you used to ain't coming in no more. This is the time where if you dating and you mad at everybody, but you already don't like yourself, now you got to deal with yourself because you're around yourself. And dating is literally a matter of life and death because you don't know how they quarantining.
Mm-hmm,
It's
mm-hmm.
like, or corporations talking about, before you remember the airlines was like, yeah, because of gas prices, we got to charge for bag fees, and now you
Yeah.
change your ticket day of, and there's no bag fees because COVID. Like I don't get it. Or remember back when gas prices were based on demand, and now nobody driving, but gas prices are
Mm-hmm.
super low. I'm like, it's all a lie. Everything is a lie, and that's what this is the neutralizer. I feel like God was like, This is the reset button. What are you gonna do with your time now? I'm watching black people invest in stocks, doing real estate. You know what I'm saying? Like me, I had to pivot and learn how to perform online. I'm doing stuff on Clubhouse. I'm creating more content. I'm posting 3 times a day instead of one before because I didn't
Yeah.
have time. Like everything I said I didn't have time to do, now I'm making time for it. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like if you're not using your quarantine properly and you complaining, waiting on the earth to open back up, but you worried about should instead of handling is, you're gonna stay sick. You're gonna stay
Mm,
broke, and you're gonna stay. Yeah, you gonna when the world open back up, you're gonna be irrelevant.
dang. I don't. I usually have something to come back and say after that, but that was so damn good.
We learning. We
Oh my
learning.
gosh. Oh my gosh. It was really a pleasure talking to you this evening, sir. It really, really was. So where can everybody find you? Where can we like find your content? I see you're doing a show with your wife on Instagram. Is that
I
correct?
am glad you asked.
Yeah.
Please follow me, comedian Ron G on Instagram, comedian RONG. Also find me on my YouTube page as well, comedian RONG. So every Thursday night, me and my wife do a dope game show called Couples Couch. I wanted to do something different for the people that's in a relationship, married,
Go follow you right now.
situationship. I follow you back. Situationships, dating, whatever your situation is. If you like your person to some degree and you feel like you know them pretty well, please stop by every Thursday night. For the month of March, it might be a little tricky because it's my birthday. I'm doing some traveling, so
Happy
yeah.
birthday!
Thank you so much, Pisces gang. Hey, two
Hey,
fish.
hey, hey.
Yeah. So we might change it up the schedule a little bit for March, but if you go to my Instagram, we'll definitely do that. Also on Sunday, we do the virtual Chocolate Sundays comedy show, which is a dope virtual comedy show. You get first impressions and you get 3 other comics, and then we do a full after party. Listen, you got to bring your drinks. You got to have a good time. Like the after party is, I'm not just saying it. Like the after party is incredible. Like it's the closest you can get to going outside to a real comedy club without leaving your house. And we have 100 people on. We got half of those are like regulars. Like it's so much fun when we have a good time. Every Tuesday we do Clubhouse, comedy Clubhouse, where we talk comedy and everything and related to comedy. And then also I have a really cool podcast called the Two Piece Podcast. A lot of
Okay.
stuff I share with you. I really value personal growth, particularly personal growth for men, but also my podcast is the cheat sheet for women. If you want to hear how like deuce
Ah,
and deuce think, that's my podcast. So it's called the Two Piece Podcast, the number two PIECE podcast, which I think we got another date coming up at the end of March as well. We do a live version as well via Zoom. And
yeah.
yeah, man. So follow me if you're watching this. Again, I'm trying to start something really dope, particularly with Black love and Black relationships. Me and my wife,
Awesome.
and I post like really dope conversations that we have throughout the week. So, but I post a longer version on YouTube. So follow me, comedian Ron G, for all the details. And until then, don't block your blessing.
Yes. Yes, Ron G. I had an amazing time. You just made my job super easy. You dropped all these beautiful gems without me even having to ask you. Thank you very much for making it easy. But do you drink?
I do.
I'm gonna have to send you some of this for
Let's
sure.
do it. What is
So
that?
Mozart chocolate liqueur is the sponsor for my show. And we have, can you see?
Ooh, that looks
5
nice.
different flavors. This is white chocolate. We got pumpkin spice. We got strawberries.
Is it
And
like Kahlua-ish or something?
you could throw the Kahlua out. It's more like Bailey's Irish cream
Oh, Bailey's is my jam.
esque. You could throw that out, son. Throw
I'm
it out.
lactose intolerant, and Bailey's does not bother my stomach. That I'm with it.
Guess what? This is all
Hmm.
gluten free, so this probably will not bother your stomach either.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
So I gotta send you a little care package
Let's do it.
to express my gratitude for you being on my show. So we got to do a toast before I let you leave.
Let's do it. Oh, I'm so jealous right now.
No, this is bomb.com.
No, I
I
believe you.
actually have another show called A Heart to Heart with Mozart, and I think I want to have you on that show.
Let's do it. Stop playing. We're doing that today, right now. I can talk.
We got to put, you know what? Off the presses. Off the presses. I'll send you a DM
All
and then
right.
we'll plan it. Yeah, definitely. So
Oh, that looks so
we're
good.
toasting. You got Chick-fil-A?
No, we're not saying their name.
Oh, we're not saying. I thought it was
No.
Chick-fil-A with the red and white.
It is, but we're not gonna
Oh,
say it.
it could have
We
been
not saying
Arby's.
that.
Oh, and I said another brand. I'm such an
Who
idiot.
eats that place? Nobody eats that. We
Wait,
got the meats.
I
But
actually do. Arby's, they have the best they have really good mozzarella sticks. and they have this wrap that, why am I sitting here promoting Arby's? But anyway, they have this wrap. It's like meat and like tomatoes and all these like different, it's like lettuce, tomatoes, all this stuff with like this mayonnaise sauce, and it's bomb in a pita bread. I don't
But
know what the name of the
listen,
wrap is,
you're
but
mentioning stuff that they don't even have commercials for.
they
Like,
don't have
that's like going to Burger King and you be like, oh, they got the best hot dogs. They got the best got the best hush puppies at Burger King. Like hush puppies, like they don't even on the menu. Yeah, they got a secret menu that only I know about. They got pita wraps and it's a sauce on the hush puppies.
That's why I couldn't even remember the name of it, but I always order the same thing whenever I go there, and it's always that wrap, but it's bomb.
But always is that place though. You don't go there for what they put on the commercial. You go there for like just miscellaneous stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So what are we toasting to?
Man, I got it. So listen, we're toasting to outgrowing where we're at. We're toasting to being at the bottom of the next level. We're toasting to success. I don't know if you got a boo, but I wish that you find amazing love that feels like putting on warm drawers fresh out the dryer. I also pray that your platform takes off and that I hope your sponsor like gives you more money to where you like, it's ridiculous. And yeah, I wish you all the best. It's going to be a great year.
And also, I want to add to that, this is to your marriage and your amazing wife, and you, I'm sure you are an amazing husband. So I wish y'all a lifetime of love, and I wish you all the best with your career. Keep on blossoming and keep on dropping these beautiful gems, because I loved it. I loved every minute of it.
I can't wait to post some stuff. And then also, I want a son. Well, go ahead.
Okay, and then we're going to put it out there for you
my wife hear
to...
this. I want a little boy.
For God to give you a baby.
There you go. I'm gonna shoot the club up and I'm gonna throw the gun at the. I'm gonna throw the. Okay, cool. Let's go.
We gonna throw the gun.
Watching this. I love you, baby. If you're watching this, I just want a son. But go ahead. Cheers. Doing my part.
I cannot. Yo, interviews with comedians are the best. Yo, we definitely doing a part 2. Definitely.
Faith without deeds. Faith without deeds is, I don't know the whole scripture, but let me tell you something. Nigga shoot the club up. Gotta go make me a son. Gotta do my part. Faith without actions is dead. Something. I don't know the whole phrase, but yeah.
Faith without works, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm dead. I cannot. So I'm gonna hit you up off the presses. Thank you so much for being a guest on Quarantini Mimosas. Keep being amazing, and let's just stay in touch.